You are watching the WSL Post Show. What a day that we had. It stopped a little bit short, but we still have a ton to celebrate throughout the morning. Easter was exciting yesterday, following through with Easter Monday, and we got to see contests get started first thing in the morning. Thanks for being with us on the Harvey Norman host set. Joe Turpel, Laura Enever, and Richie Lovett, two people that know what it's like to compete at this iconic venue for many years. Laura, it brings a different type of energy here at stop number 4 because we've got that ever-looming mid-season cut that's rapidly approaching.
Yes, I mean, always coming down to Bells is such an incredible weekend. Bells and Easter, this event, it's just, they're a match made in heaven. So, you know, all the history here, and this is obviously 60 years, and, you know, this cut approaching, it does bring a different energy, you know. People's careers are on the line right now. It's, you know, are we going to be heading off to the wave pool or back to the Challenger Series? So, I mean, yeah, some crazy matchups today, and the women's were really exciting.
Really exciting as well with that similar type of win, but the swell did drop in size. What did you make of the playing field we had today?
It was a challenging playing field. It was definitely had moments where you really need to be in tune, hunt those waves down. But we saw some great rides today. We saw some big scores, and to your point, Laura, I think we saw some people pull themselves out of a hole or start to pull themselves out of a hole. And it's kind of been the theme of this event. The people that have had to do well are really starting to dig deep, and they're doing well. So we've seen some upsets already. We've seen some people kind of, you know, really, you know, looking at that cut and go, I don't want any piece of it. I'm going to try and get myself out of trouble in this event and not risk it going over to Margaret River. Yeah,
and that's in both the men's and the women's. You know, we've seen these upsets and, you know, some of the top seeds and, you know, on the rankings go down. We lost João, we've lost Jack now, and yeah, it's crazy stuff. We almost lost Molly today.
Crazy. Speaking of Molly, wow, all the attention on world number 1, Molly Picklum, especially after losing Jack Robinson from the draw to Xavier Huxtable. A very interesting heat. A lot of pressure on Molly Picklum. It did come down to the final wave. And Richie, they had very similar scores this whole matchup.
Yeah, they did. And you know what? A lot of the matchups today were really, really close, and they were kind of sharing 5s and 6s. I almost feel like, you know, Sophie should be, you know, keep her head held high because she surfed really, really well. She kind of took it to Molly Picklum here, and Molly just came back on this final wave with some really solid, mature style of surfing. It was super close, man.
Really close. And the interesting part about Molly Picklum was, is she going to get in trouble from her coach Micro about this finishing claim? We didn't see it on the vision, but she had her hands up going, I don't know if it was enough. And we're going, hang on, you got to kick out like you killed it, right? Isn't that usually the rule?
Yeah, I mean, she's so confident. I would have thought that she might have been doing the sell, but she put her hands up and kind of just did like a little shrug, like, oh, maybe I got it, maybe I didn't. And, you know, she got it. She got the 4.57. I think it was her best score that came through. So she did get it. But yeah, I'm sure Micro will be like, you know, sell that thing.
Solid effort there for Molly Picklum, and still a great role for Sophie McCulloch, being injured at the start of the season as she's trying to build her campaign back to be solid for the rest of the year. Let's now really get focused on the quarterfinals. Kaipo Guerrero, let's get your thought on the final series. And where are you, Kipes?
I'm here on my Bailey ladder, Australia's #1 ladder at the Bailey Ladders leaderboard. Taking a look at the upcoming women's quarterfinal matchups. Let's go through them. Isabella Nichols, Caroline Marks, quarterfinal #1. Goofy versus regular. That's the story in that one. Quarterfinal #2. This is the next gen. The youngsters coming up against each other. Molly Picklum versus Betty Lou Sakura Johnson. Coming down here to quarterfinal #3. Carissa Moore, Tyler Wright. There will be 4 bells in the water for quarterfinal #3. And finally, quarterfinal #4. Can Tatiana Weston-Webb and that vicious backhand overcome the GOAT, 8-time world champ right there. Quarterfinal #4. There's some sturdy matchups in the quarterfinal for the women, just like my sturdy Bailey's ladder.
Thank you so much, Kaipo. What a way to break it down. That's getting me really excited for maybe seeing that entire bracket go down on finals day. There's a lot in that final series. There's a lot of previous Bells final showdowns. So when you look at Steph versus Tati, that was 2018. Carissa Tyler, we've seen that multiple times as a final here at Bells Beach. From both of you, where's the winner coming from? The top end of the draw or the bottom half? I'll start with you, Laura.
Well, I mean, Steph snuck through today, and I saw a surfing Winky the other day, and I feel like if it's going to be clean and, 3-foot Winky, she will be unstoppable. She had, signs of, like that trestles right going on. But, I saw Carissa and Tyler, and they blew me away today as well. So I feel like it's going to go to a past champion.
And also, we got the young gun heat at the top end. Number 1 in the world, Molly Picklum. We'll have Betty Lou Sakura Johnson. Are you sticking with the veterans on this one, or are you going with the fresh blood on tour?
Look, my head's telling me that the winner's probably going to come from the bottom half of the draw, but my heart's telling me, it'd be great to see one of the women from the top half of the draw, maybe a new winner, a new champion for this event. And let's flip a coin.
Fair enough. Well, we'll sleep on that and see where it lands on finals day. The last heat of today before we went on hold was a significant one for the title race. Matthew McGillivray wanted to get some reps out here at Bell's, had his hands full with world number 2, João Chianca, but the South African ends up on top, Richie.
Yeah, he does, and this was a great heat. I think it went, a lot of people were thinking João would have taken this, but, Matty McGillivray is just so solid in his approach, very calculated. Timing is absolutely perfect. And in contrast, João got these waves and was just thrashing around everywhere, doing some crazy good turns. Really aggressive, but, it was sort of the wave choice of Matty McGillivray that made the difference in this one. He surfed every single wave he got, he surfed it really well.
Really enjoy his approach. He has that real cool, unpredictable factor. He gives us something every time he surfs, and I don't think he minds playing an underdog these days.
I don't think he does, and he's he's in a hard spot in the rankings, just like last year. And I think at this point he knows that anything is possible. He's coming into Bells and Margaret's. This is where, if he gets a big section, he can, like you said, do those unpredictable turns, those Hail Marys that we love to see from him. So he's in form, and he's stuck on his board. He really doesn't fall.
What a big one there for the title race. Remember, Jack Robinson out, then the yellow jersey would potentially go to Chianca, but now with João out, we're really going to be focusing on Felipe Toledo's role to see if Toledo can end up in yellow heading into Margaret River. We'll keep you posted on that. One of our favorite parts of the day, a heritage heat with 2 of the best of the sport. Mark Occhilupo versus Tom Curran.
Oh, the athlete area was absolutely packed, not a spare seat in it for this heat, and it got started. Tom Curran got a 7.67 off the bat, and the stairs were going wild. This was amazing. Apparently, he picked his board up off at the rack here in Torquay. Occhi then backed up with an absolute banger, Rich.
Yeah, this backhand hook from Occhi was just so unbelievable. Just, it sort of took me back 20 years, 10, 20 years when Occhi was in his prime. And, since then, I've just been scrolling through social media, and everyone was tuned into this heat. This brought the house down. And, we wanted it to go for longer.
Yeah.
We had to add another half an hour onto it because we didn't want it to end.
Oh, it was really special looking at the numbers. Occhilupo, 8-point ride. That was the difference on that big backhand hack. Curran, 7.67. Really, Occhi won, but I think surfing won. When you have that type of athlete in the water in their, mid to late 50s and still ripping on the bowl, I mean, gosh, that meant a lot to all of us today.
Oh, it really did. No, it was a really cool moment, and just being around Occhi and Tom down here is so special. It's, you look at this beautiful trophy here and just the icons of the sport and the history. It's all ingrained into this wave.
And it was really nice just seeing this Heritage Series continue with Occhi winning the previous one at Bell's. Tom was experimenting with different types of surfboards, but this time it was an actual replica, that Black Beauty, of what he rode in that 86 semifinal.
Yeah, it was good to actually see Tom, get a conventional surfboard. Fin choice wasn't as conventional, but still, he surfed incredibly well. Both the surfers did. It was a mad fan moment for me. I gorged out on it, I think we all did.
We need to have it back here for as long as possible, because
totally.
we need to get them out there in 8-foot corduroy lines and see what happens then.
Totally.
Let's make it happen. It's time for the Boost Mobile Wave of the Day here on the WSL Post Show. It's going to go to Isabella Nichols. Boy, was she switched on today, turning in a 7.5, Richie.
Yeah, this thing just stood up in front of her, and Isabella just attacked. 3 great turns here, carving face turn, and then she got the finish as well. But this was early in the day. She picked an absolute gem and, really didn't hold back. There was no nerve. She attacked that wave.
And she needed that.
She needed it.
Is in a position on the rankings, I think 15 right now, so you know, if she didn't make that heat, you know, you'd be thinking, you know, her spot on 2 would be pretty hard to get back.
Well, Matty McGillivray, he saved himself today. Bella saved herself today. It's that story of people just under pressure and what pressure can do to you.
I love that. Bella saying she's getting the feeling she got at Margaret River last year, one event early. So hopefully she'll get on that roll and not have as much pressure on herself heading into Margaret River main break. Surfline forecast time, potential finals day tomorrow. Richie, what are we looking at?
Yeah, well, the good news is, you know, well, we do. Let's read what's on here. We've got this fading south-southwest swell. We've seen it abate over the last couple of days. It was really big yesterday. Today it's settled down. Tomorrow, the good news is the wind is really going to back off, and that's been the problem the last couple of days. That wind's been really testing. It's going to really ease. The swell should stick around in the same sort of height zone. So that's why we're looking at Winky. The variable winds, light, and, you know, we can run all day. The next 4 days, let's have a look. So, you know, there's the size there, 4 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot faces. Around that sort of, you know, shoulder to head high consistency. But again, we're playing with the wind. But Wednesday, it kind of looks offshore. So, you know, if it doesn't look primo tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if we run a bunch of rounds and then maybe look at Tuesday, Wednesday as maybe the final day. So, you know, that's a roundabout way of saying, get down here in the morning, let's check it out, let's run some heats, and maybe let's extend it for one more day after that.
You gotta love it. I mean, that's what having a waiting period is all about.
Yep.
Picking the right waves. They're really looking at finals day tomorrow, but we'll see if they extend it on further out in the week, depending on the conditions first thing in the morning. Well, Rip Curl has a really special program where you can recycle your wetsuits. It doesn't even have to be a Rip Curl suit. They'll repurpose and reuse a lot of parts of your wetsuits. Let's find out more about this program.
Rip Curl's known for wetsuits. It's our core product. We love our wetsuits, we love surfing, but we also love the environment. Finding an end-of-life solution for wetsuits was a key goal for Rip Curl.
I don't know about you guys, but I have a ton of old wetsuits that are ripped, torn, and now they're just taking up space. I'm stoked to hear that Rip Curl's recycling their wetsuits and they'll put them to good use.
So once the customer brings the wetsuit back into store, we store them until we actually have a large amount of suits to process. So once that happens, they're sent to the TerraCycle facility where each individual wetsuit is hand cut. The zips are cut out of it, the pull strings, the magnets that are in the legs, and then the neoprene is put into a pallet formation and taken to a different processor who then crumbs it to make another fibre. Once the wetsuits are crumbed, there's different options of materials and products that we can make, whether that's a yoga mat, gym matting, playground matting. So the opportunities are actually endless. TerraCycle have been a great partner in the global expansion. Having an opportunity for our core product for customers to be able to recycle just gives us the confidence that we're on the right track on this journey to be a more sustainable or environmentally friendly business.
Great program for Rip Curl, repurposing the suits. Now it's time for the top 5 of the WSL post show. Making number 5 on the list, the South African from Jeffreys Bay earns his spot into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, absolutely. This was, I guess, an upset of sorts when you think about where João is sitting on the ratings and where Maddie's sitting on the ratings, but just some really no-nonsense surfing, pinpoint timing. McGillivray gets the victory.
Number 4 on the list. Congratulations, Bella Nichols, getting past the fired-up rookie on tour.
Yeah, I mean, Katie Simmers has been on fire, coming off a win, and Isabella just chose the absolute gems in this heat. This was the first heat of the morning, and yeah, she really just did herself proud there, and her mum actually teared up when she got the 7.5.
As we go to number 3 on the list, the buzzer beater from world number 1 was very important to get into the quarters today.
Oh, yeah, and I think Molly will be sort of resting a little easy tonight, but maybe thinking about her performance and not wanting to leave it this close in the quarterfinals. She's going to have to step it up a little.
Always great to see Molly in that kind of form. Number 2 on the list is the big names on tour, the world champs, all involved in the final series, Laura.
Yeah, loved Carissa's performance today. After she got that 7, she really opened up, and same with Tyler, you know, just looking so compressed and energetic, and they just showed, you know what, this is why we have Bells titles, and this is why we are up the top. And Steph Gilmore, you know, a must-win situation for her spot on tour as well, and this was one with the final wave, a few minutes left, and yeah, she was very relieved.
And keeps her stat at Bells solid, making every time a quarterfinal at least when she's at this venue, and winning the post show. Number 1, our legends, Aki versus Curran. We're going to be celebrating them for eternity.
Yeah, this is just, you know, incredible experience for everyone who was watching and everyone down here on the beach to get a glimpse of these two champions, these two heroes, just keeping that competitive fire alive between the two of them. You know, so much history, and I encourage all the youngsters who are kind of watching it, may not really know too much about Aki and Curran. They're so young. Go back and do your history on it, because these two are very special icons of our sport, and they need that respect.
100%. Mark Occhilupo getting the win in that Heritage Series heat, as we are anticipating another one in the future. Remember, tomorrow might be a potential finals day. Looking like we're going to be focusing at Winky Pop to maybe crowning our champion. So join us bright and early for the call for finals day. We'll leave you with the highlights, and we'll see you bright and early. Thank you so much. Here for the Rip Curl Pro Bells Beach, presented by Bonsoy. I was freezing this morning walking down to the beach. I layered like 3 times. Good signs though, when it's cold, there's typically still some surf out there.
Picklum, final 30 seconds of the heat, gets the wave, gets the score.
Slides in off the takeoff. You can see all the speed, understands every single tenth of a point counts.
Tati just gets the score.
Steph, she came charging back, as we know the world champ does.
Yeah, that was a crazy important heat. Sorry, I don't want to get electrocuted.
This is the moment we've been waiting for. 2 legends hitting the water. This is as good as it gets. Oh! Big blast there. The backhand of Mark Occhilupo. This guy doesn't age. This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.